All right, we live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Sorry It's True podcast. It's your boy. We here. We got some things to follow up on. You know how we do. There's a bunch of cases. There's a bunch of big situations going on in our hip hop culture that we will continue to follow. I've been paying close attention to this ASAP Rocky trial, and I found something that scared the hell out of me. I ain't gonna lie, something that I really thought was serious. I don't do the clickbait stuff. You see my title, shocking update in ASAP Rocky's trial. And of course, I still need to add something. So I put academics in the title too, because there's something we need to spin the block on from yesterday. I ain't done with academics for a second. But yo, very, very spooky update in the ASAP Rocky trial. So we all seen at this point ASAP Relly, his ex-friend, close friend from the ASAP crew, took the stand. He's telling on him. I saw the TMZ clip of him walking out of court and getting into a car and leaving court. You know, there's cameras in his face, like, yo, you snitching, whatever. He's talking, going back at them. But look at you now. Like, he's going to be dealing with that for the rest of his life. And even testified that affected his career. You know, the snitch label is on you now. It is what it is, man. But he's up there and he's answering everything possible. He's talking about the relationship. He's talking about how they linked up in the first place. He's going over the text messages between them. He's going over the scuffle, the fight. He's doing everything that he can to bury ASAP Rocky in this situation. Now, to get into what I'm describing as a shocking update as I saw it when I was updating myself on the damn trial. All right. When we look at this whole thing unraveling, how did we start? We said ASAP Rocky turned down 180-day plus 3-year probation plea deal. And there were some other stipulations as well that you think are very, very manageable for something that's being charged as assault, right? And let's be very, very clear on his charges. ASAP is charged with 2 counts of felony assault with a semi-automatic firearm. Okay? Which also leads me to believe, real quick, people, that it being described or proven or interpreted by the jury as either a prop gun or a real gun is going to be huge in the final decision of what ASAP faces. That does he get off? Does he beat the case? Does he get convicted? Because that's his charges with a semi-automatic firearm, okay? Because we all know that you can still get assault even from not pulling your gun out. If you pull a doughboy and just like, is there a problem? Is there a problem? That's assault, okay? You don't have to even point a gun at somebody. You could just threaten somebody with the gun on your hip. You could just have it by your side. That's assault. You don't even have to point it. You don't even have to shoot it. But the charge being a semi-automatic weapon, I think that's going to be a very, very key element here. But the shocking update that I got. Okay, so let's go back. Everybody, including myself, he turned down 180 days. So people scratching their head like, yo, you ain't going to lose out on much. You sit next to Rihanna. You go do, the couple, I shouldn't say it like it's light. Nobody wants to sit in prison, period. But you do your months based on you possibly instead facing 24 years. You come home, you get back to your career, you get back to your beautiful megastar wife or girl and your children, and you move past it, right? He declined adamantly. His lawyer also declined as well. Let's go back to the video from last year that I put in my initial stream when we were all trying to understand why Rocky made that choice. So here was the lawyer, right? And he was real stern on they don't want a plea deal. Bear with me.
I am certain Rocky is going to be vindicated when all this is said and done, without question.
In a case like this, do they offer like a plea deal or anything?
We haven't asked for a plea deal. We're not taking a plea, so there's never going to be a plea, ever, in this case.
Do you think it'll be hard to convince a jury that those aren't bullet wounds on the finger?
That was crazy.
Well, I know they didn't look like bullet wounds to you based on that.
Yeah, it definitely didn't look like bullet wounds to me. But once again, y'all caught that, right? Let's take this down. We don't need that anymore. Y'all caught that. You see how adamant he was. We ain't never taking a plea deal, ever. I see comments popping up in like the trial footage that's going around the internet. People saying like, yo, I think that his lawyer, convinced them, right or wrong, ASAP Rocky, to not take a plea deal. And that's really what happens 9 times out of 10 anyway. The client gets the ultimate decision. What do you want to do? The lawyer is responsible for walking in there and trying to present to you your best options, right? And then fighting on your behalf, right? They don't make the final decision. They do not make that final decision. So what would make the lawyer that adamant outside of the evidence that they feel like they have, which was these text messages that will go towards the direction of proving that ASAP Relly is really here for extortion? It seems like that was really his main angle. He said, when we get into court, that's not going to bode well for ASAP Relly because he already lied under oath. Okay. This was the bombshell that I caught while I was watching the trial. Let me bring this up. Now, folks, if you go to this trial footage, right, and you got to really, really dig into the weeds the way I was, you see that this footage is almost 3 hours long. I got all the way to 2 hours and 12 minutes in, and I just heard it as I was walking around in my earbuds, and I was like, wait, rewind that. Wait, what did he say? Let me see if y'all feel the way that I feel.
Posted a picture of me. So then once that happened, it was over. Okay.
Now, this is Relly on the stand testifying.
Was that yeah? Was that picture specifically in some way relating back to this shooting?
Yes.
How so?
Because he wrote on one of my pictures, this rat ass nigga snitched on my brother or snitched on my bro or whatever.
And after that, your career basically.
Oh yeah.
After the shooting, you already said you contacted an attorney, correct?
I did.
Did you ultimately, through your attorney, file a civil lawsuit?
I did.
And is the defendant one of the people that you're suing in that lawsuit?
Yes, him and his lawyer.
Okay.
What? Pause. I'm going to bring it back. I hope y'all didn't miss that. I'm going to bring it back. Context, people. Something that Akademiks claimed was missing. Quick shot fired. Why not? Context, people. So, in the midst of this line of questioning, what the prosecution is walking Relly through is what he did after he was allegedly shot by ASAP Rocky, right? So he's asking him, and he's, what else they're doing? They're building up Relly's position as far as losses. Like if I went like 2 to 3 minutes back, which I'm going to spare you guys could check it out if you want. But if you go like 2 or 3 minutes back from where I started you guys in the footage, he's asking Relly on the stand, the prosecution. He's asking him, what happened ever since, you came forward about all this and you started pointing fingers, right? And he's going down his losses like, my friends don't talk to me anymore. One of the ASAP members commented on my picture saying you's a rat ass nigga and all this type of stuff. It ruined me in the industry. I can't work anymore. So that's very clear to me. I know what you're doing there. You're establishing your damages, right? Same thing happened to me. I told y'all an example when I sat in a room with an arbitrator as a defendant and a plaintiff and both of our lawyers. And by the end of the arbitration, I seen the arbitrator asking me questions about, things that are money related. And every time I answered the numbers, he was writing them down. And that's when all of us in the room started realizing that me as a defendant won this situation. We won our argument, right? Because he was taking down the losses. He was taking down the money. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs to leave with that understanding. And when you focus on that, it's like, and that's exactly what the prosecution is walking Relly through. Your losses, right? So Relly's gonna, of course, he has to do it on his civil suit. Pay attention. He has to quantify how he was damaged. So he's saying he was gonna go on in the industry to be a manager and all this type of stuff. And we know how hip hop is. If you get labeled a snitch, you're done. Okay. So that's what they just did. That's what they just quantified on the stand. He then further goes to ask him, okay, cool. So after you was allegedly shot, you contacted a lawyer? He said yes. He said, did you then file a suit against the defendant, ASAP Rocky? He said yes. Anybody else? He said also his lawyer. He also filed defamation against ASAP Rocky's lawyer. Why is that a big deal to me? Why is that a bombshell to me? Obviously, people, hello, Marty McFly. You're going to have your own personal motivations now towards winning this case. The lawyer. That scares me. Because while we're all scratching our heads saying, why didn't you take the 180 days? Think about it like this, too. Think about it like when we talk about the Jay-Z case, and on the other side, his fight, Alex Spiro and him on his side, and then Tony Busby on the other side. What do we say one of the motivations for Tony Busby to represent the hell out of this alleged girl that got awed, the night of the awards? Because Jay-Z and Alex Spiro are going after Tony Busby too. Okay? You win your case, you shut down Jay-Z and Alex Spiro also coming after you and your law firm. Okay? It's no different than what's one of the best ways to win a civil suit, right? The criminal side lands on you, it justifies your civil. If you just walk in a civil suit and ASAP's not sitting in here facing criminal charges, my word versus yours, my attorneys versus yours, it's like Diddy's going through the same shit, the same fucking thing. These civil suits turn into criminal, and then the opposite direction plays as well. Criminal charges or being criminally not charged, my bad, convicted. Criminal convictions compound and justify the civil suits. So Relly is up here looking for $30 million in his civil suit for his grays, you know what I'm saying, as well as his damages for no longer being able to work and operate within the industry after being called a snitch, after departing from ASAP Relly, ASAP Rocky, all that type of stuff. That's all in his civil suit. Now, if you and your lawyer are sued by ASAP Relly, right, and the lawyer's being sued for defamation, and I'm the lawyer, are you going to win a defamation suit against me if I'm up here proving that this is all an extortion attempt by you? You probably won't. You probably won't, because that all comes into discovery. That all comes on the table. What scares me now, when I got all the way 2 hours plus into this footage and heard that ASAP Relly is suing ASAP Rocky's lawyer, and then that TMZ footage that we just played, people seeing how adamant his lawyer was, like, no, we ain't taking no plea deal. Meanwhile, we're scratching our heads. 180 days? You sure, ASAP? I'm going to play it again, and I'm going to play a little bit more of the footage so you can get even further of the context, people.
Just the culture. It's done. All of it. Done.
And how soon after the shooting did that happen?
I mean, nobody really knew it was me until Jabari posted a picture of me. So then once that happened, it was over.
He said, nobody really knew it was me until whatever, Jabari, whoever posted a picture of me. So right there, he's even playing also into his civil suit. He's establishing once again that nobody was bothering me. Nobody labeled me a snitch. No, I didn't have any issues in the industry. I didn't have any people walking away from me until such and such posted a picture of me. I mean, that's bullshit. Like, we use common sense. We know like this was going to go around. You'll fall out with ASAP being called a snitch. That was going to get out one way or another. But that's just not how it works in the civil suit. You don't go off of hypotheticals, right? He's establishing exactly what he's saying from his point of view, what killed him and what started it all, right? So this isn't necessarily playing into the criminal side of things, but him and his lawyers, they know what they're doing. They're also playing into his civil suit right here in front of our face.
Was that was that picture specifically in some way relating back to this shooting?
Yes.
How so?
Because he wrote on one of my pictures, this rat ass nigga snitched on my brother or snitched on my bro or whatever.
And after that, your career basically ended.
Oh yeah.
After the shooting, you already said you contacted an attorney, correct?
I did.
Did you ultimately, through your attorney, file a civil lawsuit?
I did.
And is the defendant one of the people that you're suing in that lawsuit?
Yes, him and his lawyer.
Okay. you say his lawyer, who are you talking about?
Joe Tacopino,
But is he seated at the table here today?
he is.
And why was it that his lawyer wasn't at the shooting when that happened that day, correct?
No, but I got defamation lawsuit against him.
Your Honor, they're opening the door here.
I didn't, well, wait, can you read the question back and the answer?
You heard his lawyer jump in real quick, Your Honor. He didn't like the line of questioning continuing towards him. He jumped in real quick with like little fake objection, right? Yo, this is a whole nother element to this shit. He's going after ASAP Rocky's lawyer as well. Wow.
Why was it that his lawyer wasn't at the shooting when that happened that day, correct? Answer no, but I have a defamation lawsuit against him.
The question is, why was the attorney not at the shooting?
It definitely was not.
Why was it that Dashes, his lawyer wasn't at the shooting when that happened that day, correct?
Why was he? Call for yes or no?
No.
Mr. Tacopino was not at the shooting, correct?
No.
Answer another question.
Since, well, when you came to that preliminary hearing that we talked about before, did Mr. Tacopina ask you questions at that hearing?
He did.
Can you give us an approximate of how long he was able to ask you questions?
I don't recall, I don't remember. It's like a day, half a day, I don't really remember.
Okay. More than an hour?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And did you answer the questions that he asked you?
I did.
After that day, has Mr. Tacopina asked you to essentially, if you'll sit down for an interview with him?
No.
Did he ask you, or sorry, he did not ask you directly, but were you asked by the judge if you would agree to an interview with Mr. Tacopina since that day of the preliminary hearing?
Yeah, I was.
When did that happen?
Yesterday.
And what was your answer?
I declined
Why did you decline to talk?
because I spoke to him already.
That's the last piece I wanted to get to for this point. So is ASAP Rocky's lawyer still trying to get at him, and he declined, and it's within his right to. Now, I'm still standing in the middle on this situation as to was it a real gun and did he really the whole knuckle scrape shit, like I'm off that. Like y'all know that already. What's interesting to me now is was it a real gun? Um, the evidence that Relly collected, the day of he went back for, is that legitimate? What happened to the real gun or the prop gun? Another huge thing that I'm interested in is will ASAP Rocky take the stand? A lot of people think that was a big decision for Tory Lanez. Will you take the stand, right? Tory Lanez seemed like he didn't want to do it because sitting up there and answering questions about Meg kind of puts that snitch label on you. So will ASAP Rocky take the stand? But I think this was a big pivotal thing. You saw that whole line of questions that they just went through just now was related to ASAP Rocky's lawyer and Relly. And ASAP Rocky's lawyer is still trying to get at Relly. And Relly's like, nah, I ain't talking to you, though, boy. He's also suing ASAP Rocky's lawyer. Does that further motivate ASAP Rocky's lawyer to say no plea deals because he has his own personal motivations as well to win this case and clear Rocky of the charges so that can then bolster the civil suit and clear the lawyer as well as Rocky of the civil suit? That scares me, people. So I'm not going to jump out the window. You look around the internet right now, the vibe is like, they don't like what they're seeing from the prior witness, the police officer, ASAP Relly taking the stand. Everybody's just like, it don't feel good. But we gotta be patient. Let the trial play out. We haven't really seen ASAP Rocky's lawyer fully activated yet. He hasn't been fully unleashed yet. Especially if he gets his opportunity, and he would. Why wouldn't he? To tear at ASAP Relly, what's up with these text messages? What's up with this extortion attempt? How come you said this? How come you said I'm about to be rich, nigga, and all this? Let's not jump too far ahead of the trial. I want to see these professionals do what they got to do still. But that element to me is the lawyer got his own personal motivations, y'all. Wouldn't you? All right, let's move on. Real quick, man. It was good to see Joe Budden come out and not back Akademiks. And the reason why that was good to see is first we saw Akademiks' big rant about, I do too much for y'all to show too much love to ever be called a weirdo. Like, but what you did is some weirdo shit, so people call you a weirdo for it. Duh. Like, you know what I'm saying? And when you think you're close with people, or you consider each other friends, and Akademiks and Joe Budden, we've seen Akademiks do Joe Budden's podcast many times. We see Akademiks big Joe Budden up many, 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 many times, speaks highly of him and saying, yo, we're part of the big two, the big three, and it's just me and Joe and all that, blah, 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 blah. And in situations like this, where you have that type of friendship, you would assume somebody would be quiet, right? Like, I think that my guy is wrong, so I'm not going to compound it. I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to fall back. You know what I'm saying? But no, instead, Joe did the opposite. I want to see if Akademiks is going to keep that same energy. You went on your rant and all that, then all right. Joe is one of the people that got on his huge platform and spoke down on you, in your situation. Keep that same energy. Address Joe Budden. All the titles that's on your channel, Joe Budden reacts to this, and then you react to Joe Budden reacting to something. React to Joe Budden speaking on you. Okay, let's see what was said.
I'm not trying to preach to nobody. It's difficult to unlearn things.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So if that is a habit and a tendency where, hey, I'm living my life in front of the camera, so they're just going to see it. I invented that, actually. And where some of us come from, to me, is not an excuse to groom. Like to say, I don't really know what that is. Okay, I understand that and I receive that. I ain't gonna pretend like I really knew all the ins and outs about what grooming is either. But I also identified that there's plenty of grown men running around here not knowing that they were abused. As an adult, I would help you learn. Listen.
Y'all want to do it? Y'all want to do that quick topic? Grooming? Y'all want to do the topic? I can leave it alone. We could just stay on the academic shit. Y'all want to do the topic? We'll do it. Fuck it. Let's do it. Grooming. To be fair, and in the context, and we got this word context thrown around from last stream, right? The context there is Flip was offering an objective position, right? Of there's a lot of younger men that come up, and it's a little bit more common. He uses the word, it's not foreign, right? I don't want to misquote him on something that's sensitive like this. And he's being objective. I don't think Flip was in the wrong. I think he was just being objective. So shout out to Flip. He's objectively offering the side of it, like, younger men and sometimes men in the hood or whatever, they may go after like a 15-year-old kid or a teenager and say things like, yo, so what's up? You got you some ass or whatever? Or like, oh, you looking at girls yet or whatever? The word grooming, it is a little bit more common. Like I didn't hear the word grooming when I was coming up, right? I know what it is, but it wasn't really, all right, fuck it. Let's just be real. Let me stop fucking being politically correct. The word grooming kind of blew up from Drake. At least on the internet. Let's keep it 1,000. Right? Let's keep it a fucking 1,000. All right. And there's been imagery of grooming that have been swept under the rug and accepted. You want an example? Belly. Rest in peace, DMX. That was a big example of grooming. Now, the times have changed. This is to me understanding what Flip's objective commentary was about, right? Use Belly. When she's on the phone with DMX's girl, what is she saying? She's saying I'm too young, so we can't fuck, but I do what? The same scene from the car, whopping them off in the short in the scene, right? In the car. So what is that saying? She's saying in the scene, I can't have sex with him yet because of my age, but I'm doing this. And we don't even go that far with today's use of the word grooming online, right? We don't even go that far. Thank you. Y'all with me? We don't even go that far because we don't even say that it includes any sexual activity the way it did with X in that scene getting whopped off. We just say more so like allegedly, like Drake being around, befriending, being overly closer to some of these younger girls to prepare them or to be in line so that when they are of age, that comfort is established and then the sexual activity can begin. I'm not saying that that's true, Eddie. I don't want to get sued. I'm saying that that's pretty much what people would be trying to say that they believe Drake was doing in some of these examples. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that. Don't sue me. Allegedly. Okay. That's more of how we're throwing around the word grooming in today of society, right? Now, which one is wrong? Both. Okay. Now, if it just means that times have changed and we need to continue to keep up to what's right and what's wrong, and if times are changing and becoming more sensitive, yet society becoming more sensitive is also teaching us that maybe what some people were doing in the past year, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever, just wasn't the right thing to do, then so be it. It's a teaching moment for a lot of people. This is how societal changes happen. This is how words like grooming become more commonly said. This is how it becomes more commonly understood, person to person to person. So now when you have the next generation that comes up, like our children, for example, right? When they become parents, maybe they don't approach another teenager. I shouldn't even use parents because parents have the most justification for sexual conversations with a child. For example, what do parents say all the time? Conversation about the birds and the bees, right? We come up like that. But let me exclude parents to make the point a little bit stronger. Let's just stick with like adults talking to teenagers. The upcoming generation won't do that. You know what I'm saying? The OG on the block won't see the 15-year-old walking down the street and be like, yo, what's up, man? You got some ass? Like, he won't do that in today's society because it is an uncomfortable conversation. And that's why I really stuck to my point initially on that previous stream, saying that the only justification really to talk to a teenager like that comes from the parent, because there's just certain cultural, religious, or even just within your household beliefs. Like, I believe that my son is of a certain stature or level or age, and I want to start to push him in this manner. I guess the word groom replaces that. I'm grooming my son. I mean, the word grooming, if you just take it out of the context of what we've been using it for ever since the Drake and the Kendrick beef, right? The word grooming by definition has other meanings, people. You could groom a child to be a sports player. You can groom a child. Like, there's somebody that's hearing what I'm saying right now and is so ignorant, and they just can't separate that the word grooming has multiple meanings, and they're going to take what I just said out of context. You could groom a child to be an astronaut. You could groom a child to get into politics. Right? They're born, and then you just keep teaching them something. You teach them something. You teach them something. Now, when we come into the sexual conversation, you groom a child to, like what happened on the Akademiks Discord with those other people. You're grooming that 15-year-old by saying things like, you're 15-year-old, so what? Other rappers do it. You're grooming him to say that you being sexually active and doing things like this and having thoughts like this, like sleeping with the other streamer or giving head and having and all that type of stuff, it's okay at your age. That's grooming. Grooming fits all of these different categories. Okay. When we talk about the sexual side of it, though, that's what people say, wait a minute, hold on. Okay. So that's a grooming conversation. So I do understand Flip's objective nature here, but I do like the way that Joe handled it.
You should. This is wrong. This is wrong.
That's the underlying part right there. Like,
so if you crack a joke, if you crack a joke and ask your 17-year-old brothers, yo, you fucking girls yet?
I'm not cracking a joke. That's not a joke. I'm asking my little brothers what's happening with you sexually.
Yeah,
it's not a joking matter.
So
and if the 15-year-old is sitting there telling you, hey,
I agree with that.
Now, Joe is also much older than Academics. So, for him to sit here and clearly say on the internet, like, I'm not cracking that joke, even though y'all was in that Discord with that kid joking. Clear separation of how we handle situations with 15-year-olds is what Joe just did. And yeah, I'm curious to see if Ak is going to respond to that. I am.
This is grooming. I'm uncomfortable. You're gonna put us in a case. Yeah. Then it's probably the time.
All right, we're gonna leave it right there. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
All right. That's Joe responding to Academics and speaking on the situation. And I'm glad that he did. All right. Instead of sweep it under the rug, like, damn, me and Ak is cool. Let's stay away from this topic. No. Topic came up and he distanced himself from the actions and totally disagreed with it. And that is to be expected. So I got to give Joe credit for that. Now, when I said I'm not finished with some of my commentary towards Academics from yesterday's stream, I'm not. And this is one thing that I want to get to. Okay. Now, as streamers, there's multiple paths to building your viewership, right? You got just different types of people. And you know how they say there's somebody for everybody out there? That's really true. People that are charismatic, people that are funny, people that are attractive, people that are very intelligent. All of that can rank based on what you're paying attention to when it comes to the streamers that you follow, right? Credibility is something me personally, I've always been big on. How many times do I got to say? It's like I say it as a disclaimer for any new viewers. Am I perfect? No. Am I angel? No. But I think by now, especially the people that have known me for like the last 13, 12 years, 11 years, or at least 10 years from RBE, running that platform, y'all know I've always been big on credibility and integrity, right? I'm in a lawsuit now from due to my standing on integrity. Trust me. Like I'm big on that. I'm very, very big on that. And if I come on this channel with y'all and I rate an album, if I go over GNX, right? If I just take it through the roof, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 because I know that Kendrick's fan base is so big right now. They're clicking up every piece of content that drops with his name in the title, and that following that type of consensus right now is what's hitting right now. Then I don't feel comfortable within myself, especially if it's not a 10 out of a 10. And I did rate the album. Y'all see how I rated it. I was like, it's a good album. It ain't no classic or nothing like that. It's a good album. It's solid. It's strong. I'm cool with it. There's a bunch of skippable tracks on there. I showed y'all that in my review. I'm good on this. Peekaboo was one of them. Turns out to be my highest viewed podcast video. My Peekaboo breakdown is like at 130,000 views right now. It's still going. I'm like, damn, they really like that conspiracy because there might be some truth to it. I don't know. Allegedly. But anyway, credibility and integrity. So when we listen to people like Academics and they're heavily invested into the industry and he's heavily invested into metrics and numbers. This artist dropped, Meek dropped, and he did this many album sales. This artist dropped, and he did this many sales. This is a flop. Oh, this is a success. Now, we talk about Lil Baby and the effect that Academics, as such a large media platform, has had on Lil Baby's career, as far as steering narratives about him. Lil Baby, calling him stupid, saying that all his recent songs was trash. He's done. His wave is over. And to the point where, people from the record label having conversations with him like, yo, can you back up off of our artist? Can you at least give his album a chance to drop? And he comes on and bolsters that as a W for himself. Yeah, the record label had to hit me up and ask me to fall back for a little bit. So I'm gonna listen to that album. I'm gonna give it a chance. Like I'm gonna fall back instead of hurt his career. You see how much he champions his Meek Mill win, right? That's him. That's him. He showed us clearly who he is in that respect. But here's the thing about it. If Lil Baby drops an album and generally people are saying it's kind of mid, I'm of one of those people to be 1,000. I fuck with Lil Baby as an artist. I really do. I want to see him win because I think he's a great artist and a great lyricist. Why would I want to see him fail? I'm a fan of music. So if he can continue to put out good music, I get more entertainment. Why would I want to see him just fall off? No. So I reviewed that album. I don't think I did it on the channel, but when I listened to it, I was just like, it's cool. It got a couple standout tracks. The joint with Glorilla, the joint with Future and Young Thug. Like, there's some standout tracks on there, but all in all, it's not crazy to me, to keep it real. So when Akademiks tears that Lil Baby, and the general consensus is that the album is like subpar anyway, he gets to sit there and claim credibility points, right? But he didn't want the album to be good anyway. We can see that in his character. It just happened to be mid, but he didn't want it to get good reviews. So when you got like a Kai Cenat come out and he's like, what? What is this? What did Lil Baby just say? That helps Akademiks because Kai Cenat's big following, right? If Lil Baby would have had a smash end to end, I honestly think that he wouldn't have been comfortable with that because he's looking for a win. I even seen him attack the numbers, right? He wanted to go to the record label, like, well, the record label did their job. They probably bought this and spent money here and promote this, because numbers wise, he wasn't able to do that. Lil Baby had success numbers wise. So Akademiks had to go a different route. I really read Akademiks bullshit and fuck shit so easily. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing about credibility in the video that I just pulled up here. Speaking of top 5, who whatever. If you want to come out and take positions such as this, commentary to be continued.
Man, the Academy Records, I told you I was launching, man. Listen, I dropped a $25 million bag. I had to do it, man. The first signees to the Academy Records, the biggest demons out of Toronto. Yo, y'all artists, y'all don't have a hit song. Y'all not dripping like this. It's going to take a while. Let me tell you this. 5 mil. I signed him, put 5 mil in his pocket. 5 mil straight. Hey, this guy's been rich. I was giving 5 mil just cause. I had to give Boondog 5 mil just for him to stop sliding. That was only stipulation. No more sliding. It's over. It's over. The Academy Records, man. Listen, when these guys drop, Big Ak is behind it, man. Listen, there's no bigger voice than me.
But before Top 5 could become the newest single.
Wow. So going back to how I started this, credibility and integrity. So Akademiks, just remember, sir, if you are to be a credible person, if you are to have any integrity about you as a man, you are bolstering and bragging, and you're talking about giving people millions of dollars like Top 5 to sign them to this academic or whatever. Akademiks, I said Academy Records or Academic Records, whatever it is, right? Millions of dollars or whatever. And folks, it's actually sad to me that Ak is so much of a Drake groupie that he went after befriending, tracking down, linking up with, signing, streaming with Top 5. This 26-year-old kid that gets on the internet and continues to say some of the most clown, reckless shit, right? So what's your credibility then? Dare we scale Lil Baby next to Top 5? So when Top 5 drops a tape, if he gets out of jail or whatever, I don't know, he's got a situation going on right now. Like if Top 5 drops a tape or drops a song or drops an album, we get to now see DJ Akademiks get online because he's sliding all over Drake. And I mean that with no pause, because he's sliding all over Drake, that you're going to now back Top 5's music. Top 5 is such a great artist. Meanwhile, we get to listen to you saying that Lil Baby can't put out anything of quality. Watch people's integrity, watch people's credibility, watch people's motivations. And that even ties into the first one of possibly why A$AP Rocky didn't take a deal. His lawyer may have been extremely motivated because he was also being sued for defamation by A$AP Relly to then advise A$AP Rocky, fuck that 180 days. Let's take this shit to trial. No different. You have to pick up on people's personal motivations. I slide over Drake so much that Top 5 is one of them niggas. What? Who you want to convince us of that because you think you have the biggest voice? How many of y'all are going to be convinced to listen to Top 5? I'll ban you if you come in here and talk about like, yo, ARP, check out that new Top 5. I will ban you from the channel. But Lil Baby has bad quality, huh? He don't have good music? Okay. Watch these people, y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without, I think still got a gun.